a lot of the videos that I do make. Let's go back to this. Right, so enough of me talking, which is about 7 minutes into our presentation. We've only got 23 minutes to go. So with the Google Classroom, yes, it's simple, but what I'll be doing today is really doing other things that Google provide, which you can incorporate into the Google Classroom. Talking about Jamboards, and a lot of people said they didn't even know what a Jamboard was. Some people have mentioned that, yeah, Google Drawings, they've heard of it, but they've never really used it. So I'll be using both of those things. And I'll be going into assignments and rubrics. And also, I'll talk a bit about Google Extensions. It's more just a constant thing I'll be talking about. And Google Keep may or may not come up today. I might bring that down later on. Success criteria or learning intention. We're going to learn how to integrate Google Classroom into our classroom practice, into our teaching practice. We're going to create a Google Classroom, customize a classroom banner, use collaborative tools such as questioning and Jamboard, add a Google extension to Chrome, hopefully you'll do that today, and make an assignment, let's hide that, with a rubric. And that's where I'm going to end that. So, creating a classroom. If you haven't done it before, and I feel a few people may have not, the easiest way to create a classroom is from your backpack. Everything with Google, if you type in the product name, like classroom.google.com, it will create a new one as well. Ooh, stay connected, please. So let's quickly go into our Google Classroom. Today I'll demonstrate a few things, but I will get you guys to do a few things as well, but it's more for demonstration right at the start. I have many classrooms, and I probably should unroll and fill them, and you can do that. If I want to create a new classroom, I'm going to come over here with my fat white hand. Do you like my fat white hand and thumbs up? Hey. The kids love it as well. So that's just a Google extension called Custom Cursor. Okay, so I'll talk about the Google extensions you can use. And the kids do kind of look at it. Year 3, when I had them, every day I change it, and they go, what is it this time? It'd be a skeleton for Halloween or whatever. So there's a lot of good stuff there. So I'm going to create a class. Students, they see a similar page, they will join a class, and I'll get you to join my class in a second. So creating a class, I'm going to call it Mawson Google Learning Hub. I'd like to keep this classroom open for us to come back to all the time. If you come across something really cool and useful, share it. Okay, and Classroom's pretty good for that, and that's why I say you don't have to just be the teacher. You can actually get the students to be able to put posts in as well. We'll talk about that in a second. Create that. Now, Google usually has a whole lot of templates. I find the templates interesting, and they usually, if I said something about maths, it'll probably give me a maths template. If I said something about science, it might give me a science template. I find them a little bit boring, so I'm going to quickly show you how to create your own custom banner up here, okay, to make it look a little bit personalised if you have your classroom one. So to start with, I'm going to go to my Google Drive, I'll open that up in my classroom as well. And I'm going to click New. I'm going to go down to More here. Click on More, and I'm going to use a Google Drawing. Google Drawings are fantastic to create posters. If you want to create a poster, don't use Google Docs. Oh, you can. Use Google Drawing. So it's really good. Now, the banner size, you might have noticed it's a long, thin banner. So this kind of checkered section there, that's my canvas. I'm going to change my canvas, and I'm going to change the size of it. Page setup down here, I'm going to click down here to custom. Now, I happen to know, and you know now as well, that the banner size is about exactly 1600 pixels by 400 pixels. I don't expect you to remember that. It's in the slide, which I'll share with you later. So there you can see it's a long, narrow banner. So what I'm going to do now is I want to put a bit of a background there, insert image. I'm going to go search in the web there. Now, actually, no, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go search the web this way. It's a little bit better. I'm going to come over to a new tab. I'm going to just search space because I like space and I was teaching a little bit of it across the school. I'm going to click here, images. Now, if you haven't done an advanced search, please get used to doing it. To do an advanced search, look, I've got all the images in the world, but some of them aren't going to be great for my need. I want a long, thin banner. So I'm actually going to go in here to settings, advanced search. Okay, settings, advanced search. Click on that. It'll give me a whole lot of things. I'm still searching for space. I can do a lot of exact words, any of these words, none of these words. This is a great tool to teach our upper primary school kids, okay, how to do a good search. Now, the size of the banner, as I said, the pixels, well, it's 1600. So if I have a small size, like 4:3, if I stretch it out, it'll look yucky, it'll look grainy. So I'm going to choose larger than 1024 768. And aspect ratio, well, because I want it long and thin, I'm going to choose a panoramic. Okay, click on advanced search. There's other things you can look for through there. Advanced search. And I've suddenly got a whole lot of cool pictures which might be useful. Now, there's lots of images here. The quality is going to be quite nice and high. They're panoramic. I might choose something like this. The reason I've chose it, look, it's 2048 by 1024, so it's actually quite tall, but there's a lot of black there. Maybe I could choose this one. If I click on it over here, see it says it's 1280. When I click on it, 1280 by 640, you can see right next to my thumbs up. So I might choose this one. Once again, I can download that straight away. So I'm going to right click it or double click it on a trackpad. I'm going to save image as. Okay, when I click that, I'm going to save it. And I don't know about you, but when I save things on, particularly on our teacher computers, they go everywhere and I can never find them. So use the desktop. Okay, I'm going to call this space banner and I'm going to save it on the desktop. That's why it's a little bit easier for me to find. Oh, I've got some already there. So now when I click back to my drawing, I'm going to insert image. I'm going to upload it from the computer this time. Whoops, insert image. Find my desktop. Find my space banner. Do this one this time. Open it up. And it still needs to be stretched a bit. Okay, it still can be stretched a bit. Because the quality is quite high, that's okay then. Now, I always find this a little bit fiddly and stuff like that. Yeah, cool. Might stretch just that last little bit so it covers the banner. Cool. Now, I've left it overhanging there slightly because I want to crop it. So over here, you can see the crop tool. If you haven't used that before, really useful. There we go, the arrows. I can bring it back up a little bit so it sits around about there. And from the bottom as well. Now I'm going to rush through this a little bit. That'll do. I'm going to click outside now. So I've got that. It's about right for me to check to see what it looks like. I'm going to go File. And down the bottom here, it actually does say Print Settings and Preview. So I can actually see what it looks like. Okay, so that's what my banner is going to look like. Now, of course, that looks kind of nice, but I want to add a bit of kind of text to it, or I don't know if you guys have got as a Google extension your Bitmoji. So I want me to be on this because this is my site because I've got and I use Bitmojis for a little bit. As you can see, I could just search up, and there's some cool ones here. I could just easily search up space there. There's me. I'm going to click and drag that on. And there I am floating in space. So suddenly we've got a nice little page just for our own. I would add some titles or text down the bottom. Okay. Now be aware, if you can remember back in our classroom, that top left-hand corner, it has the classroom name. And the kids will see the classroom name. They don't see the code and stuff like that, which we do. So I'm not going to put anything there. I might, because it's a black background, quickly name that. Sorry, I'm going to change the color really quickly. Make it a nice light color. And I said Mawson box. Okay. Space rocks. Mawson is out of this world. Change the font however you want it. So I'm going to quickly save. This is Space Banner 1. Now, I just clicked up in there the title where it said Untitled, Space Banner 1. The next thing I have to do, and this is kind of important if you do want to use Google Drawings to create images, is I suggest you look up here. You actually have to export it. Okay, so I'm going to export this, or when I say export, download it as well, I'm going to do it as an image. Now, JPEG's quite good. The PNG generally means it's kind of clear in the background. They're both good quality. When it downloads, it will come down over here, Space 1 PNG or Space Banners, the picture I had before. If I go back to my classroom, where's my classroom gone? Oh, there it is. Now I can select the theme to change the theme, but because I want to make it my own, I'm going to upload. And the great thing about if you're using Google Chrome, and this is a nice little feature as well, once it gets to that page, come on, computer, is being able to just drag things. See how I've downloaded the bottom left-hand corner? I'm just going to drag it over, and it's there, so I don't have to go searching for it. So it's quite good when using Google Chrome and downloading things like that. I might resize this here. Just drag it out so it's nice and big. And as you can see, because I've got the sizing right, this takes up the perfect size. And done. So that will upload as a new page eventually. So there I've got me with our classroom. Now, the Google Classroom. For those who haven't used it, very simple. If you look at the front here, it's like a stream. You can type things in, kids can type things in, you can reply, all sorts of things. You have the ability to change some of the settings. I'll just make sure I'm on the track. Yep, yeah, the ability to change settings for what the kids can do. If I click over here to classwork, there's various types of classwork that you can put in here and organise. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with that, but basically, I've got assignments, quiz assignments, questions, materials, and I can reuse a post. Now, Amy was asking me a little bit earlier about, if the kids do something, submit, and then I've got to return it and stuff like that. And there was one method that we were talking about. But if you use a post, let's say every day or every week, the reuse post is fantastic. You just click that, change the date and stuff like that. So quite useful. The topic you can set within your classroom, lots of different topics. For general classroom teacher, it's fantastic. Because you've got your literacy, maths, whatever. Or for me, not on class, I might do a term 1, term 2, term 3. So you can organise however suits you fit. If I click over here, people in the classroom, but what we might do is get people to join the classroom. So for you to join the classroom, I'm going to go back to the stream. Can I get everybody to go into Google Classroom or classroom.google, and then I'd like you to join this classroom here. Please refrain from posting straight away though. So to put the class code, if I click on that, it will make it big. The other thing is if you would like to email out, you can also email out invitation codes as well. Okay, but generally we have our classroom with us, but if you were creating a classroom that you wanted people to join, you can email that out, and that was in classroom settings. So if you can try join that classroom, it'd be fantastic, and then we can do a few things. All right, so if I look at people, I'm going to click over here, people. It'll show me who is the owner of the classroom. It'll show me students. What I love about this is I get to change some actions. So, of course, if I highlight, well, let's just highlight Sally. If I highlight Sally, I can remove her, I can mute her so she can't make any comments. So it's really good to have that bit of that control. I always show the kids that control so they know I have control. Okay, they're not surprised when they do too many silly comments that I've just muted them. I will not do that to Sally because she was nice to me today. If I go back over the settings, there's a few other bits and pieces there that you might want to have control of. The stream, students can post and comment. Generally in a classroom, I say students can only comment. That means I put a posting in, they can comment only. But for our classroom, I definitely want students can post and comment. So it means you post things for other people to see, we can all comment. So that's a good one. And I think a few people if you need a hand to stop getting emails every time someone posts, ask me about that later. It also talks about Guardian summaries. We have the ability to email out parents to say they're part of this classroom and they get a summary if they choose to every week of what assignments are due and what work they're supposed to be doing. Okay, so that's available for guardians to see as well. I think we've set it up that a lot of our guardians have access to our classrooms. Next thing I want to really do is I want to create a bit of work here for you guys to all look at. So I'm actually going to create, I'm just going to put material in there. I'm going to send a Jamboard. Does anybody use Jamboards in their classroom? Has anybody ever got a piece of butcher's paper out or 5 pieces of butcher's house paper out and said, hey kids, I want you to brainstorm an idea? That's a Jamboard. Okay, so to create the Jamboard, it's not through our backpack, it's through our drive. Okay, so I'm going to click new, I'm going to click down more and Google Jamboard there. Okay, I'm actually going to insert a Jamboard that you guys can have a look at rather than creating a new one. So I'm going to go back to my classroom. I'm going to go Jamboard HP, and you'll see what I mean in a second. I'm going to add that. When I click add down the bottom, because it's on my Google Drive, I'm going to click straight there. As you can see, you can add links, files, and even YouTube clips, I should say. I'm going to put this Jamboard in. Insert. So I have got my Jamboard there ready. Work in table groups. Whoops. To complete the task, and I'll tell you what the task is. Dum dum dum. Over here for who's it for now? I can actually, and this is quite good to if you have multiple classrooms that you want to set up. I can actually choose this to go in all my classes, not just this classroom. So if, particularly for myself, I might be teaching across the school, I can post this in kindergarten's classroom, year 6's classroom, because it might just be a message. So that's kind of good to know. I can also over here, all students, or I can just select the students I want it to go to. Okay, and quite often I do this for grouping. I might set a task for my high flyers in maths, my core group, and those needing a little bit of extra assistance. Okay, so they get different work and they only see in their stream the different work. I'm going to post this once I learn how to spell work, and I'd like you guys to do this task. So before you race over to the stream to open it up, and if you look in the stream, it will appear. I've got new material there. This is the task. I've got a Jamboard here. So basically it's a whole lot of butcher's paper. If you have a look over the side, these are my options. Okay, I can use a pen. Okay, so basically I can draw all over the board with a pen. Undo, undo. I've got an eraser there. I've got the pointer. This one here is sticky notes. Okay, and those 5 or 6 groups you can see there, or 5 groups you can see there, are all sticky notes. Okay, how can I add writing there? I can put a picture in, a shape in, a text spots in. Okay, so obviously this is a text spot up the top, and this one here. Okay, if I want to say, okay, everybody look over there, there's my laser pointer. Okay, so it doesn't stay there, you off. Okay, so it's just a bit of a laser pointer, but once again, just for the kids to see. Your task is if you go to the number of Jamboard you are, you'll see up the top it says 1 to 6. I'm going to press the downward arrow here, and please, thank you. You can see there's lots of butcher's paper I have out on the table already. So table 2, you're all going to go over here. Table 3, table 4, table 5. Go to that, and what I want you to do is, as a group, make a sentence out of those words. And it comes from a certain text that most of you, if not all of you, have read. Sorry, the usual Google kind of issue which a lot of people have is the whole shareability sometimes. So what I'm about to do is I've gone into my drive. I'm going to get the link. And when I click get link, and if you haven't done this already, I'm going to make sure only people can open. Yep. And make sure it's directorate, and you can be editors. Okay, so I'm going to copy that link. Now I'm going to go back into our classroom. I'm going to quickly open up this Jamboard thing. I'm going to edit that, if it lets me, and I'm going to click add. I'm going to add the link. So this time, sorry about this, I'm going to get you to click on the link. It's the bottom one, and it should let you in. I might delete the other one, so it's not there. I'm going to save that. Hang on, you've got to wait until I've saved, and then it'll work. Sorry about that. Can I get everybody just to half close their screen over again, just so I know that you're listening? I do that a lot with the kids and stuff like that, because like adults like Anna over there, can't get my eyes off the screen, forget about a real person talking, I want to see a screen. So yeah, the Jamboards can be used in many ways. And as you just found out, it's a group work activity. So can everybody group move thing at once? Yeah, no, they can't. So they've got to talk a bit, they've got to use their voice, that sort of thing. Someone's the scribe. Someone, you're just doing similar sort of things. Great for brainstorming. You could I mean, we're all teachers. There's lots of great ideas we can use that, right? It did it automatically. Yeah, because I found that interesting as well. And sometimes it was short words and stuff like that. It still did it small. So yeah, it did that fairly automatically. So Jamboards, yeah, great things to use in the class. One other thing I'll show you in the classroom as well is going back to classwork, creating a question. Does anybody do questions, or do you always do assignments? Cool. A couple of people do questions. Creating a question is really good, because once again, if you're working with a classroom, and it's just like if you ask the classroom something, you do a bit of a think, pair, share. That's the ideal situation. Well, this is similar in a sense that if I create a question, I'm going to go here, create question. Once again, I can decide where it goes. It's not worth marks, though you can make it a sort of a mark, put it in a topic. Notice down here in the bottom right, it says students can reply to each other, students can edit answers. I don't think it's a bad idea to have the students can edit answers, because they might want to change their view. That being said, they can reply to their own, going, oh, now that I've heard this, I've changed my mind. So question might be, and I want you to do this, and I'm once again a 10-second kind of 1 minute kind of have a if that makes sense. You'll see short answer. You can have it as a multiple choice, and I believe you can mark it as a multiple choice, but I generally use questions as a short answer, getting them to think, write it down, then see what other people do. Now you cannot, I'll press post, ask, I'm asking that for everybody. You cannot see what anybody else has written until you've written something. Okay, so it just gets that kind of the kids who always want to kind of go, I don't know. Well, it's like we have to write something down. If they write down, I don't know, well, there's information for you, and you can talk about that and address that. So if you go into the stream, have 1 minute, think about what's the biggest challenge for you getting technology into your classroom, including using Google. If you don't have one, you can say, because my touch screen doesn't work, if you're down in preschool. And then you can see what other people have written. And you can comment on what other people have written, going, oh, do you have a problem there? Do you know what a quick fix is? When I've done it, I don't think you've had to. It does, but it's probably something you could talk to the kids about. So we can, as a teacher, I can sit here and say, yep, Bright's done something. Good work, Bright. Now, of course, the other students wouldn't be able to see this at this stage. Yeah, I like that one, Leah. Yeah. And that's sometimes why Google's fantastic, because there are so many things, but it will do it all eventually. You stay away from those other options. But yeah, there's even in Google, it's like too many things. It's like probably the good thing about I like about Google is I don't feel like I'm learning something new each time. I think it's always an add-on to what I already know. I'm quite happy to continue on kind of going through how to create assignments and rubrics for those who want to stay. For those who don't, I'm going to share this slideshow to everybody. And it's a bit of a task for you to kind of go on with. So I'll open it up, yep. So this is a final kind of task which I'll send out, and I never really planned for you guys to do it in a classroom, but I'd love you to walk away going, okay, I want to do something. And I know some people are doing things as we go. So choose your own adventure. Basically, you get to choose which one of those you might want to do, or you might want to do all of them, okay? For some of you, it might be to create your first classroom, okay? Create a question, create a Jamboard, ask other people to join yours, okay? You can send, as I said, email the link out to people, so you have a bit of a play with it, because you might not be using it in your classroom right now, or you might not feel comfortable quite yet. So that was the first one. The second one is customize your classroom. Okay, play around with Google Draw. Okay, Google Drawing. I haven't used it that much, and I'm actually finding it quite easy. You can put hyperlinks in it. You can put everything in it. It's like that poster that I created. Took me 10 minutes, just going a couple of background images, a couple of this, that, and the other, inserted that, and it was quite easy to do. And the last one is create an assignment and rubric. If I click onto any of those, it gives you a bit of a dot by dot what to do. There's also potentially a YouTube clip or video that I might have made, plus the Google Help Center. If you're trying to find stuff out for Google and you don't know how to do stuff, there's so much information. And if you click on the Help Center, whoops, didn't hyperlink there. I'll have to check that. Oh yeah, I've created a banner template as well for those people, so you don't have to resize. That's just a template of the banner. There's a how-to video where I've actually got that whole instructions, a succinct 4-minute video, maybe 10, I don't know. And the last one was really about creating an assignment and adding a rubric. As I said, if people want to hang around do that. Yeah, the Help Center, the Google Classroom Help Center, if I click on that, there's a lot of kind of how to do this, how to do that, what's it all about, guardians, etc., etc. So there's so much information. I'm more than happy to, you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer, I'll find the answer, but we're all busy people, and sometimes you kind of go, well, how do I get that answer? The help centers that Google provide are really cool. Are there any questions before I say you can go, unless you want to talk about assignments? I'm going to go through the assignment quickly. As I said, I'll create a bit of a help video that goes with this as well, but the rubrics is probably what you're more interested in. Is that my guess? Yeah. So to create the assignment, nice and easy, create assignment just like the other things. Whatever the assignment is, a narrative, you can put the instructions in there. I've got an assignment that I might link in that I did a while back with the year 3s. I'm going to insert that assignment. So just so you can see, at this stage, they can just view. Generally with assignments, I like to make sure you make a copy for each student. Okay, so that will, yep. So I'm going to create that for each person and assign that to everybody. So that's nice and easy. And yeah, I can click on that to see what it is, make sure it's up to date, etc., etc. So the task here is they're writing a narrative, but of course we want to be visible learners. We want them to know what a good narrative is. We've done all the background information. We've worked with the class. We've said this is what our expectations are, but we want that available online for the students to see all the time to make reference to. So this is where the rubric comes in handy. So if I click here, plus rubric, I can create my own rubric. I can reuse rubrics and I can import. So I'm going to start with create. Generally, you can decide whether you want to have some sort of scoring. I found the scoring really easy for marking because, you know, it accumulates, and if it's a good rubric, it's just like we would highlight it. We can see they're doing really well. It might be title. Okay, the first part, do they have a title? It might be something as simple as that. And then I can do the points. So you'll see here, basically, this is a system that I can spread across the table here, how many different parts of the rubric I like. So I'm just going across one row at this stage. So I generally do the 5, okay. The level title might be title, and then I might say has an interesting title that gives a hint to the story. So once again, you know, I don't want to give out too much information, but it's relevant. Then I click the plus. You see, you can click plus either side. Coming on this side, I can make this one. Ooh, let's go up. It's not to -3. And so I might change this one to interesting title. This might be title included. And you might say, yep, it has a title that is whatever you want to write in your rubric, and then click over here, one row. So then I go add criterion, and I might go, this title might be spelling, etc. So that's really cool to create it. It's just like you normally would. What I really like about this is I'm not going to go on this one a bit too much. You know, I'll show you a copy that I've done already. So I'm going to close that. No, I'm not going to save it because I've created rubrics already, and you can use them across. You can use them from, sorry, this classroom. I'm going to click reuse rubric, or I can even, I have got no rubrics in here. I can go to all my other classrooms. Classrooms I created 3 years ago. I can see them there. So if I go down to here to year 3, the rubrics that we created there. Okay, I've got a whole lot of rubrics, and one I had a look at recently was the narrative. And this is the exact same rubric which is on the bumpered up wall. Yeah, it's all pre-taught, or the background information is there. So when we have a look at that rubric, so it's there, I'll open it up so you can see I've got all this information, okay? And you can see it's allocated 30 points because it sits, the maximum can get 5 in each. It actually puts it in as percentage as well. And then, to give me a bit of space in between. If I think, where would I put it? Is it as good as that one? Is it? So it's more of like I can actually, and I'll show you in a second, I can actually change them up to 4. Okay, does that make sense? Yep. So make a copy. I'm going to assign that. Now, if you open up the assignments, I should have joined myself as a. There we go. So I'm going to open Nell's. So there we've got Nell's stuff. So when I'm marking Nell's stuff, I can have a look at it, open it up and go, oh yeah, that's awesome. So if you look off to the right, okay, if you look off to the right, there's a few options here. Firstly, there's my rubric. So all I have to do is click, yep, I'm going to give a 5, I'm going to give a 3. Actually, it was a bit more than a 3. I'm going to change it to a 4. Okay, 3, scroll down, 5, scroll down, 3, and punctuation. Oh, actually, where's spelling? that's 1. Also, adding the private comment is really good. They will see that private comment, so you're adding that to it straight away. So, well done, Nell. Learn to spell, and I'll just have one L there just to keep that relevant, and post that. So now we'd actually see that sort of stuff. She'll see the mark that she gets when she opens it up. And this is all saved in a marking book, which you can kind of have access to as well. You can see 70 out of 100, and then I can click return. So that means she now can see, and possibly if she wants to, fits things up as well. I might say, yep, do it, fits it up with your spelling, and then I can bump that up. When you use assignment dates and stuff like that, because I didn't have an assignment date, she's able to keep on fixing those things up when I return. If I have my assignment date as end of today,
I can see the
so I can click through any of them, or what I generally do when I know they're all handed in is I start at A and then I just use the arrows, next one, do that, next one. This bit here? Yes, it does, yeah. And you can notice that you can add comments straight away as well. There's comment banks, which means you might want to have spelling needs to be kind of improved.
Yeah, so I'm paying kids not doing pieces of writing, and I've had a couple of them do they sent pieces of writing from a task and edit my work or check my work.
Mm-hmm.
I've rewritten over there when you're able to edit bits and then
Yes, you can. I would no. Well, you can do comments, but if you want to make, see how over here where I'm clicking, it's got suggestion. So I'm on suggestion mode. So I might highlight this and so that I'm suggesting to that student change it, replace writing with reading. So that's a suggestion that you can do all the time. And you don't have to have an assignment for that. Like if they've got docs and they've shared it with you, you can do that. So, but yeah, you can do it through this process as well. Before you can return it and not give them a mark saying, yep, I've edited it for you. Now you fix up for those changes if you wish, whether you want. Yeah. And I think you can change that. You can edit for them. Yeah, you can edit for them if you want. But yeah. So that means when they open this up again, Bright's not here. When they open this up again, they can choose whether they want to keep the changes or not when they go through. Does that make sense? There's a lot with the rubrics and assignments and stuff, and I think they can get complicated. I usually, as I said, play around with rubrics, comments and stuff like that. But you have to actually train the kids because this is all about them looking at the rubric beforehand and about them knowing how to submit properly, about them, if you send them comments, them checking those comments, fixing up, then resubmitting, that sort of thing. Sorry, say again? I don't know about that. The other thing would be, rather than do a rubric, just leave a comment. So you might say, fantastic with your sentence structure, though you need to look at your spelling and spelling and punctuation before you submit it. Or, like I said before, I can give them a 1 out of 5 for that. Give them a comment saying this is your chance to fix it up. I haven't told them what the spelling mistakes are, but they know that they have to use their editing process. I might stop this video. It's probably been going for an hour now, if anybody wants to watch it still. Don't apologise. Yeah. There we go.